Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your comedy coach, Linda Landeros. In today's video, I'm breaking down the audition from Mr. Show with Bob and David, starring Bob Odenkirk and David Cross. If you haven't seen this sketch yet, I urge you to go watch it first. I've included a link to it in the description box below, then come back to this video. I absolutely love this sketch. It is so simple, yet diabolical in execution. From the meta parody of the audition process to David Cross's unabridged commitment to his role as an egotistical and anxious actor, this sketch is simply perfection. And it's one that ranks high on many sketch comedy lovers' list of like top 10, top whatever sketches of all time. So let's get right to it by identifying the 5 parts of a sketch. Like every good joke, every sketch has to start with a setup. You have to set your audience up to laugh. So the setup usually involves like introducing the scenario and laying the scene for us. So those first few lines when David comes in and he introduces himself as an actor, he introduces his monologue, which is from a made-up play called The Audition. And as a setup, this is very clear, simple, brief, and to the point. Because we don't want to spend a lot of time in the setup, setting up all these things that the audience needs to understand in order to get on board with the laughter. Keep it short and sweet. The setup leads very quickly into the conflict, because as we're setting up the scenario, as we're setting up this audition that this actor is here for, and he introduces his piece, he follows it with a request. Can I use this chair? Very common request made in auditions. So the casting directors are like, of course, use whatever you need. But no, that's the audition. That's the monologue that he's there to audition with. So it's not a request, it's a performance. This is the misunderstanding that we're going to explore and heighten in this sketch. Conflicts in comedy should be simple, and this is just a simple misunderstanding. We think, oh, okay, made a mistake, it's not going to happen again, except it's going to keep happening because this is comedy. We're going to keep throwing gas on the comedy fire. The conflict in this and in many sketches is going to tie directly into your game. The game, which is the third part of the sketch, is the pattern of unusual behavior that we're going to explore and heighten throughout the sketch. The pattern here is the misunderstanding between the actor and the casting directors, right? The actor's monologue keeps getting misinterpreted as requests being made during the audition process because his piece so accurately mirrors the audition process that the casting directors aren't even sure where reality ends and the performance begins. This is the pattern that we are going to explore and heighten, which is the 4th part of a sketch. So let's get to heightening. Heightening is when we take the game or the pattern that we built and we raise the stakes of the situation. This is an audition, right? Auditions are incredibly nerve-wracking because an actor's livelihood depends on how well they do in the audition, right? So this poor guy can't even complete his audition because the casting directors keep interrupting him. They keep interrupting his performance by getting involved directly in it, even though to the casting directors, they're like, oh, we're just trying to give this actor everything he needs in order to do his audition. As the stakes are raised, the actor gets more and more frustrated, and the casting directors get more and more embarrassed because they don't know how to react. Heightening is always indicated by strong emotional reactions, and we see that with all the characters in this piece, and that's what's really nice. We're not just watching one character have like an existential crisis as they can't complete their audition, but we're seeing everyone suffer. That's gold in comedy, not in life. Heightening is going to build to what's ultimately, I wouldn't necessarily say a climax. To me, that's more storytelling. And we're not telling a full story here when we perform or write a sketch. We are just showing like a snippet. We don't have to have a conclusion. However, the heightening is going to build to a button. A button is how we end our sketch. Now, like I said, we're not trying to conclude the story necessarily. We're not looking for like a perfect ending to this sketch. We're just looking for a way to get out of this scenario, this comedic scenario. So the button is like one final joke. I wouldn't say that it's one final joke of the game that we've established. Like, we don't want to just end it with another misunderstanding. We want a joke that's in line with the game, but something new. So what if after this actor can't even complete his full audition and gets all frustrated and stuff, what if that was enough? What if he got the job? So that's what happens at the button of the sketch. Even though he doesn't complete his audition, the casting directors are like, you know what? You got the goods, kid. You booked it, or whatever they say. Something that's unique about, something that's unique about sketches from this sketch comedy show, Mr. Show with Bob and David, is the way the button or the ending of one sketch bleeds into the beginning or the setup of the next sketch. It's actually kind of cool. It's a cool way to transition from one sketch to another, and it works really well for TV or for film. So I do encourage you guys to watch a full episode of Mr. Show. If you've never seen this sketch show before, if you enjoy this particular sketch, you should check out their episodes. I believe they're streaming on HBO Max. I'm not trying to like encourage you to subscribe or anything like that. They're not paying me to tell you this. So all I'm saying is that that's where you can find it streaming. But you can probably find episodes of Mr. Show on YouTube. And that is your sketch breakdown of the audition from Mr. Show with Bob and David. If you found this video helpful, I have other sketch comedy breakdowns that you can check out, and I'll include links to them in the description box below. If you have any questions, that's what the comment section is for. Ask me. If you found this video helpful and educational, please consider sharing it with a friend and subscribing to the channel for more comedy breakdowns. And of course, if you want to learn comedy a little faster, you can always check out my Intro to Comedy online course where you learn the fundamentals of stand-up, improv, and sketch all in one cohesive class. And of course, let me know which sketch you would like me to break down in a future video. I'm Linda, I'm your comedy coach, and I'll see you in the next video.